Sandeep is the founder, partner, and director at SRS Financial Services, LLP, and SRS Stockbrokers. A competent professional, he has over 20 plus years of rich experience in financial service industry. He is one of the fastest growing mutual fund distributors and a stockbroker in Thane district with 125 crore plus asset under management and 2,800 plus clients. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sandeep Dinkar Baravkar. Let's have a huge round of applause, please.
So Sandeep, thank you for coming here. सबसे पहले ये पूछना चाहता हूँ कि मैंने सुना है कि एक प्रोसेस डेवलप किया है जिसमें कि ऑटोमेटिकली पैसिव है, एक्टिव है, वो उसके क्वेश्चंस आंसर हो जाते हैं एंड आपकी जो प्रोसेस है उसके थ्रू जो नतीजा निकलता है उसमें आप दोनों को इंटीग्रेट करते हैं.
Perfect.
This one? Oh, sorry. Hello.
Okay. So first of all, thank you, Mr. Khatri, Cafemutual, for organizing the conference on one of the most important investment categories. So thank you so much. So to answer your question, the process is not so complicated. It's a very simple process. What we do is when we go to a client or a prospective investor, we don't go with a product in keeping in mind. We just go to him. We do his risk profiling. Then we do his need analysis. On the basis of these two things, what we do is we do a asset allocation. And if at all passive funds, whether it is index or ETFs, if it fits according to his risk appetite or the needs and goals which he has, then we do recommend passive funds, majorly index funds to that client.
So how long have you been selling passive funds?
It's since the inception of my company. It's almost 6 years now. We are there in the industry now.
What were you doing before that?
Prior to that, I was working with Geojit, one of the leading stockbroking company for 13 years.
Okay.
And I started this company 6 years back.
But आपको पहले से क्यों आइडिया लगा, इतना इंटरेस्ट कैसे आया that you decided to integrate passives into your process?
It was not actually a passive. It was asset allocation, which has helped us,
Yes.
To recommend a product which actually there are investors, they need this. So it was not basically a passive. हम उस पे focus हमारा नहीं था. वो asset allocation में fit होगा तो then we should give that product or that scheme or a fund to a investor.
So अभी what percentage of your AUM?
It's around 20%.
20% is this thing. And how much of it is ETFs? How much of it is?
Sir, 70% is index and 30% is ETF.
70% is
index funds.
Okay.
Yeah.
And ETFs और इंडेक्स में आप क्या फर्क मानते हैं? किस तरीके के क्लाइंट को इंडेक्स होता है, किस तरीके के क्लाइंट को ETF होता है?
To be very honest, the problem with ETF is investor needs to have a demat account, right?
Account, yeah.
Without that, he won't be able to invest in ETFs. Though we are a business partner of one of the leading stockbroking company as well. But then what happens, when we meet clients or prospective investors, few of them, they are not ready to open demat and trading account. So what is the next option? So it is obviously index fund. So the most of my investments in passive is through index only.
And is there any pushback from investors when you talk about passive funds? Do they tell you that we want to go with the better performing schemes which have a track record? आप हमें क्यों passive fund दे रहे हैं? इसमें ज़्यादा पैसा नहीं बनेगा.
Actually, sir, most of the investors, they don't even know what mutual fund is.
Okay.
तो पैसिव क्या है वो तो उन्हें पता बात की बात है. So वो हमारे ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है basically. And I think this must be a case with most of the MFDs, right? Whatever we say, they invest. But in our case, our philosophy is we try to, empower them. We try to educate them ki what passive is or what active funds are. And then to 10, 20, 10, 15% allocation to passive, they do. Even the returns for last 10, 15 years, index funds are not that it's quite good, at par with large cap funds. So I don't think the passive funds are not giving returns which are far lesser than the large cap funds. So it is almost same, the large cap funds and the index funds.
Have you seen the difference in acceptance among retail and HNI? Does retail invest more in passive funds or HNI invest more in
Of
passive?
course, HNIs, because retail, the corpus or the investment amount which they have is very less. So within that, to give 10-15% allocation to passive is not advisable.
Okay.
HNIs, they have the big money to invest. So they easily give 10-15-20%, or they get ready to invest 10-50% in passives.
Okay. Now, I'll come back to this question which I've asked earlier
Right.
also. Many FFDs stay away from passive funds because they fear यहाँ पे पैसा कम बनता है. So what is your answer to this? और आपने क्यों नहीं?
Sir, I have friends, those who are MFDs, many friends, right? But I have a different perspective to this question. Actually, it's not the cost or the income which is not making passive so popular, but it's the lack of awareness. Most of my friends do not know what passive is, how does it work, or even ETFs, because they don't have a demat or something. They are only mutual fund distributors. So ETF is then they are not going to push, right? And passive, the awareness is very less. What we should make sure, like these conferences, this will help them to understand what is, like the first speaker, he said, the future is passives. So once they understand this, they'll start, allocating some fund to passives, or they will advise their investor or clients to go for passive, have some allocation.
Okay.
It's a lack of awareness, that's what I feel. We should educate them.
Okay. So lack of awareness. So get yourself educated on passive funds.
That's
You
right.
will develop conviction and you will start
Exactly.
recommending more and you will start seeing the opportunities
True,
in this
sir.
area.
Very
So
true.
that's wonderful.
Yes, yes.
Son.
Thank you so much, sir.
for
Thank you
coming.
so much for inviting me. Thank you.